If you have knowledge of how to add value, how to increase revenue, how to decrease expenses, whatever it might be, you can find opportunity in real estate because there's so much of it and it is so fragmented. You all know my philosophy. Some of you may listen to the Sweaty Startup podcast, which is where I talk about small business. It's where I got my start. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the comparisons between my Sweaty Startup philosophy and why I love real estate. I think that too many brilliant, otherwise brilliant people who could have very long, successful entrepreneurial careers, too many of them don't succeed because they don't account for the risk-adjusted return of what they're doing. They shoot for the moon, they try to start a new idea, a new product, they innovate, try to change too many things, when most of the successful entrepreneurs, and many people who find their way to real estate start out by doing something sweaty, not fun, not sexy. They're in a business that already exists. They just find a way to do something, one or two things, just a little bit better, and they carve out a piece of their pie. They go into an existing market. They don't get emotionally tied to their business idea. They don't take a lot of risk. They just start by going out and selling themselves and providing a service for somebody. They just start. They start small. They realize that business is a lot about momentum. It's a 10-year game. And many times you can start out so small and then grow a little bit and grow a little bit more and grow a little bit more. And you look up in 5 years and you've built a business that has some serious enterprise value. You have some cash on hand and you can get into real estate. Many successful real estate entrepreneurs have that same story. They got their initial capital, their initial cash from small business, from entrepreneurship, because it's really hard as a W-2 employee to save up $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 that it takes to jump in to real estate, especially commercial real estate. I mean, yes, you can buy a single family rental or a short-term rental, but when it comes to commercial real estate, which is a lot of the stuff I talk about here, it's really tough to get into it if you don't have a lot of money. And honestly, a lot of what I preach about small business and entrepreneurship transfers extremely well to entrepreneurship or to real estate. The reason why I love real estate, a couple of the reasons why I love real estate, is that it's very localized. It's very geographical in scope. It's very limited to a physical region. It is a physical part of our world. When you go back to the entrepreneurship, I think too many entrepreneurs try to start internet businesses and compete with everybody. And I mean, there's many people that I know that have won. So I'm not dissing that type of entrepreneurship, but a lot of people who win start local businesses and provide a service in person. And they have a geographical moat because they can do a business in an area, either helping clean, maintain, build, whatever it is to our physical world, and they can carve out a pretty serious niche. Now, real estate is the same way. I love real estate because you have a very fragmented market. You have hundreds of millions of buildings in our country. Might be half housing and half commercial real estate. You have millions and millions and millions of square feet. Every town has thousands of commercial buildings. And with that fragmentation, with that sheer volume is opportunity. If you have knowledge of how to add value, how to increase revenue, how to decrease expenses, whatever it might be, you can find opportunity in real estate because there's so much of it and it is so fragmented. One person doing real estate really well in California does not mean you can't find a piece of real estate exactly like the one that person out in California operates in Athens, Georgia, and buy a building. And like real estate, one building can change your life. One building the right way can change your life. We built our first self-storage facility. We had a $1.8 million budget, built it for 2.4, incredibly stressful, bought out the neighboring property for $415,000 a year later. So we were all in for about, 2.8, 2.9 million. And that building's worth about $8 million now. It's one building. That is life-changing money for me and my partner and our investors. It doesn't take scale. It doesn't take a ton of employees. It doesn't take any kind of revolutionary, groundbreaking idea. We did nothing much different. I mean, we operated our facility remotely. We put some software in and we answered the phone. That's what we do. We keep it clean. We keep it well maintained. That's it, guys. The fact that so many real estate operators and owners are wealthy and older, 60 plus, and operate their businesses like it's 1980 with fax machines, secretaries, landlines, cash, all that. The fact that that is still a very acceptable way to make a lot of money in real estate means opportunity. When I think about business and entrepreneurship, I think about who am I competing with? Am I competing with the Stanford grads? Am I competing with software engineers? Am I competing with venture capital? Am I competing with big data, big companies? Or am I competing with the guy down the street who maybe even didn't get a college degree, but runs a great business that produces a lot of money, and he runs that business with a fax machine? Who would you rather compete with? And that's the beautiful thing about real estate, because in the world of real estate, there's so much of it. The people who own it are wealthy, or they're passive, or they're not involved, or they don't really necessarily operate it like a small business. That spells opportunity for us. And all it takes is one deal to change your life.
Juniper Square, the sponsor of this show, recently conducted some research to help you understand what real estate investment managers are doing to build stronger relationships with their investors and earn more referrals to new investors. Their new special report includes data on topics such as what factors are the most important for building investment relationships today, how technology is being used to provide a competitive edge, and the one technology integration that is driving more repeat investors and more referrals. To download this for free, visit junipersquareresearch.com. Again, to get this report for free, visit junipersquareresearch.com. Before you go, we have a new sponsor of the show, recostseg.com. And if you bought a piece of real estate, you need to get a cost segregation study done. It's what allows you to get all that sweet, sweet bonus depreciation, and it's how real estate investors like me and many others pay almost nothing in taxes on an annual basis. You can cost seg a single family rental, a short-term rental, or a large commercial property. recostseg.com is affordable and aggressive and super fast to turn them around. They've done 10 plus cost segs for me this year. They're going to do many more for me. Visit recostseg.com to learn more.